Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And my brothers and sisters, tonight we have got to talk about what is going on in Michigan. All of a sudden, duplicating federal laws and acting like it's your own new idea gets you bona fides in the gun world, but what does it actually accomplish? Like I said, this is a straight up copy and paste. So what are they up to? Everything will be linked in the description box below, and I can't wait to hear what you guys think about this one. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. And the content today is brought to you by our new merch brand we are launching, and it's called Libertist. Libertist is a lifestyle 2A brand that you can wear what you believe and fund the 2A fight every day that you see on this channel between my channel, Katie's channel, and Second Legacy. This is a way to do it and take the control out of YouTube. Now, you've got things like Culture Warrior 2A Division. You have the rights are enhanced by the power of the Second Amendment. You have the definition of a Libertist. You have everything that you need to start your collection for Libertist as we move forward. There's tons more coming, t-shirts and merch for men and women, and this is an amazing time to really put your 2A out there, particularly in light of the holiday season coming up. Everything will be linked in the description box below, and the reviews have been fantastic, and thank you so much for checking that out. And while we're talking about funding ourselves outside of the YouTube umbrella, make sure you guys weren't accidentally unsubscribed, because as I'm showing you on the YouTube list right now, those are the subscriber numbers that all of a sudden magically went to 0 and then negative. I'm sure there's nothing malfeasance going on. Just check. Thanks. Now, let's get into this because we have got some stuff to talk about, so I've got to set the table first. Let me show you what a misdemeanor is. A misdemeanor for domestic violence, because Michigan's up to something, right? Misdemeanors typically include nonviolent crimes like shoplifting, reckless driving, simple assault, or drug possession for first-time offenders. Okay, it's a criminal offense that has small jail times. Now, let's look at what they say federally around misdemeanors. Again, know how I said in the introduction this is a copy and paste? Yeah, we're getting to that. Check this out. Let's see here. If the person has no more than one such conviction and is not otherwise prohibited, the person shall be disqualified from shipping, transport, possession, receipt, or purchase of a firearm if 5 years have elapsed from the latter of the judgment of conviction of the completion of the person's custodial or supervisory sentence. Okay. So on a federal law, I walked you through what a misdemeanor is, and the penalties are 5 years of no firearms if involved in the domestic violence. Well, Michigan and Gretchen Whitmer decided that they wanted to do a little copy and paste, and then they wanted to take credit for being a gun-controlling state and really being progressive on gun control when doing nothing new whatsoever except adding 3 years, which gives it a total of 8. Again, why are we copying and pasting just for gun control bona fides? Check this out. Here's what's going on, and tell me when you smell something weird. Michigan continues overhaul of gun laws with extended firearm ban for misdemeanor domestic violence. Again, this is a federal law. So why are you doing something that's already federally prohibited with federal consequences? This is kind of smacking of when California makes it illegal to have a machine gun, and it's like, well, that's already in an NFA. Why are you talking about that? They kind of do this thing where they run out of ideas that they can't do anymore, so then they copy federal laws, and they go, look how amazingly progressive we are, when they've already done things that are already on the books. Anyway, let's continue. Lansing, Michigan. Michigan Democrats who have transformed gun laws in the state in the wake of multiple mass school shootings are now making it more difficult for individuals with convictions for misdemeanor domestic violence from gaining access to guns. Again, a federal law already. Governor Gretchen Whitmer signed legislation Monday, that is today, that prohibits individuals convicted of misdemeanor related to domestic violence from possessing firearms for at least an 8-year period. So that's the only difference. They added 3 years on the end. Not saying it's okay. I'm just saying this is copy and paste plus 3. That's essentially what you're talking about here. State law currently includes firearm restrictions for those with felonies related to domestic abuse, but no law had existed for misdemeanor. It did federally. Quote, these bills are based on a simple idea. If you have been found guilty in court for violently assaulting your partner, you should not be able to access a deadly weapon that you could use to further threaten, harm, or kill them, Whitmer said at a bill signing in Kalamazoo. It's just common sense. Well, there's the common sense drop. But what's not common sense is copying and pasting a federal law and then passing it off as your own innovation. That's what's happening. Now, my own personal take on that, you guys can tell me what you think in the comments field. They're running out of things to do that wouldn't be unconstitutional or pushing the envelope, so they're trying to copy and paste things that are already federal law. That's what's happening right now. Again, this is not going to change anything from what's already passed on a federal level, yet they're doing it now, except for 3 years more. Okay, let's keep going. Legislation implementing red flag laws, stricter background checks, and safe storage requirements were all signed by Whitmer earlier this year. The overhauled gun laws followed 2 deadly mass shootings that happened in Michigan within a 14-month period. Now, the entire point is they don't tell you all the details about those situations, which could have been prevented if law enforcement had actually done their jobs, but that's a different thing. We've covered those. Again, that's what they've done this year. Universal background checks, red flag laws, and what was the other one? Safe storage laws. So those things have already been implemented. So they ran out of something to go to the well to, so they just decided to copy and paste from federal law and then pass it off as their own. They added 3 years, so it's different. Again, I'm not excusing it as acceptable behavior. However, this is not really exactly what they're passing it off as, which I think makes it a very interesting point. Psychologically, why would you do it unless you needed some victory somewhere because you weren't getting it? Anyway, let's keep going because if you don't believe me, this is from the AP right here. Federal law already prohibits those charged with felonies or misdemeanors related to domestic violence from purchasing or possessing a gun. But advocates have pushed for state-level laws that they say can better be enforced and won't be threatened by future Supreme Court rulings. The Supreme Court is not immune from making state laws illegal, i.e. the Bruin decision. This doesn't make any sense on any level across the board at all. They wanted a win, so they manufactured one. Again, I'm not saying it's not a big deal, and I'm not saying it's not important to pay attention to. What I'm saying is this is not a new idea. They did not just come out and go, "Ooh, look how smart out of the box we are." They literally copy and pasted +3. Anyway, last thing I'll show for you. Under the legislation signed Monday in Michigan, people convicted of misdemeanor that involve domestic violence will not be allowed to purchase, possess, or use a firearm or ammunition until they've completed the terms of imprisonment, paid all fines, and 8 years had passed. That is verbatim for what I read earlier to you on a federal law. Again, think about why they would do this. This is not new news. This was coming. They was working its way through his legislature the entire session. This was something we all knew about. So why all of a sudden is it this great grand victory when it's copying and pasting federal law, just like California does, just like New York does, when they do nothing? Ask yourself that question, because that why is pretty important. That's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.